ladies. Break a leg.
Thank you.
10:30 will bring you, and you go from there. So around 10:28. I'll see you.
Sounds good.
So you're going on at 10:30?
Once it fetches the stream. I have one stick of lipstick, and I couldn't find it this morning. I saw that. I was like, all right, ready? What? We're gonna fade over to you. So, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new show. Good morning. I'm your host, Sandra Noemi Torres. We're going to have a great show for you today. In honor of Women's Month, I'm interviewing a local woman today. You should know, because she is making some powerful moves in the community, impacting other women and making a difference. So that's what this show is going to be about today, guys. It's about empowering women. It's about business. It's about entrepreneurship. And it is about making a difference in our local communities and how we can go about doing that. So I am so excited to get started. Before we get started, I want to do a quick shout out to the production. This show is being produced by AMP2 TV Productions and Studio, located right here in Boca Raton, Florida. We are so grateful for them. And let's get started. So I have a wonderful guest today, guys. This is the one and only Michelle Y. Talbert, Esquire, ESQ. We'll go into that in a little bit. Probably one of the most beautiful and realest souls that I know. Certainly a powerful woman. I can't wait till you guys get introduced to her if you don't already know her by now. We want to answer some questions, though, from you guys. So if you are watching us live, be sure to comment and like below. Be sure to ask us questions. If you are watching the replay, it's okay. We will be monitoring this feed, so be sure to put in your questions there, and we will answer them and get back to you as soon as we can. So I want to introduce my guest today. We're focusing on women, on local women, on women that are making a difference in the community. It's International Women's Month, so we want to focus on business, right? There's a lot of women opening up businesses and entrepreneurship, and we want to know what it takes. And we also want to know, how to handle all of these things. So I want to go ahead and introduce Michelle Y. Talbert. I will give you a quick synopsis of who she is, but there is nothing better than words coming out of her own mouth to tell you. But Michelle Y. Talbert is a recovering attorney. Has helped hundreds of women really improve their businesses through podcasts, through workshops. Her connections and vast business network have created massive opportunities, ranging from an invitation to the Obama White House to speaking on stages across the country. Michelle has been featured in Forbes, USA Today, and the Huffington Post, and has been a contributing writer to Black Enterprise. Her passion is curating online and offline events through her Power Moves brands for women to connect, collaborate, and create cash flow unapologetically. She loves to build and belong to tribes. Welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for letting me into your tribe. I appreciate it.
I love you. And I will tell you guys later how Michelle and I got together, but I want you to know from you, give us a quick synopsis of your identity, who you are, what you're up to.
God, well, I'm a New Yorker, and we always have to let people know that, right?
For real.
I'm originally from Queens. And what's interesting is that I grew up, and most of my young adulthood, I did not trust women.
Wow.
And it was crazy. I was always that guy's girl, and all my friends are guys, and I don't even want to work with women. And so it's really interesting for me to have shifted in the last 8-10 years to being in spaces that are occupied almost entirely by women, and to really see that we can trust each other. Yes. That when we have the communities that we are unstoppable. And so I love that you're doing this. I'm so excited to be here and be part of, your new movement.
I love you. I mean, I want everyone to hear and benefit from your ness, because
Yeah.
you have impacted so many women. I observe it, I see it, I feel it.
Yeah.
I'm a recipient of it,
Yeah.
and it should be shared. More people should know about what you're doing, because it is something that I think everybody needs to get involved in this Ness.
Thank
This
you.
is Ness.
The her power space
The
of
her
it all.
power space, yes.
Definitely. Well, what happened was that I self-published a book back in 2011.
Okay.
And we hit social media super hard to try to figure it out, basically Twitter, trying to figure out exactly how can I navigate this space. And I came up with an idea for technology to help dating, online dating specifically. We won't talk about that part of life, right? But what happened was, because I was showing up, right, totally different show. Because I was showing up at so many events and sharing on social media, women reached out to me and said, I don't understand. How do you build a business? How do I create my own piece of tech? How do I find communities that can help me get the resources and the tools that I need to move forward? And I realized that, one, there really weren't a lot of communities that were focused on us specifically. And two, I had access. I could share that access, because I really am a strong proponent of we take up space. So when I moved here to South Florida in 2015, I found a lot of us were in spaces that were very far from home, and we're based in Broward. And I'm like, why do we keep leaving Broward to get information? And so we launched Her Power Moves in 2018, which was this online and offline community where women could come together and build up each other's businesses and share resources. And we went all around the county. We now have 3 chapters in Day. We're trying to come to Palm Beach and Jacksonville. And so now we also have, as of January of 2020, we have Her Power Space, which is our brick and mortar co-working space to come together and for the community as a whole to come together and get the resources they need while we continue to have Her Power Moves grow.
I love that. I love that. And that's such an inspiration for women that are trying to do something or trying to aspire to do something. What did it take? Like, what was your initial thing to open up Her Power Space? Like, what led to that?
Well, what's interesting is I had the idea for it back 5 years ago. And I think a lot of your viewers will probably resonate with, I have an idea. I don't know what to do next. I don't know whether or not I can actually, pull it all together myself. And so it kind of sits dormant. And that's what happened. I had some ideas. I jotted them down. Looking back through my journals now, it's crazy the things that were sort of in my wish list that I hadn't looked at in years and actually made it into the space. So there's power in writing things down. I know you know that and teach that. And so it just became apparent that we needed a home. We were very nomadic. And because we were traveling around the county, it was very difficult to get the traction we needed for women to feel like, where are you going to be next month? Where is it going to be next month? And just the difficulties with having a home. And I really wanted to build a space where we could all come together and really have roots that we could put down. And that's what Her Power Space is.
I love it. I love it. I attended your grand opening, and that's
Yes, you
exactly
did.
what I felt. It was just like a family of, in a space of just love and good vibes,
Thank you.
So what was the first thing you did? Because I know you've been doing Her Power Moves, the event. So what was the first thing you did when you said, I need to open up a brick and mortar. I need to have a space.
I went to coffee with someone.
That's usually how it
Another
starts.
woman, amazing. She's a very, very amazing woman, Julia Aquino, and she and I sat down. And on my way to go visit her, when we went to have coffee, and it was our first time sitting down. We had been like sort of trying and threatening each other with a good time of having coffee for like a year, and finally we said, no, we're going to do it this Sunday. And we sat down, and on my way there, something in my mind said, she's going to give me an opportunity for real estate. There's something about this conversation that's going to lead to real estate. So I know that's a little woo-woo for some people, but it was just an inkling that I had. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, she was like one of the first people that I shared publicly with, I really want to build a space for us. And she was like, you're never going to believe this. And because she was able to share with me opportunity to start looking at spaces, I realized what was possible. So where I thought it would be too expensive. I thought that there would be some issue with that would be a hurdle that would be insurmountable. Just having that conversation with her really opened up the floodgates. So the first thing I would say is have a conversation with someone who's trusted, someone who has knowledge and information, and also do your research. Because after that conversation, I then hit Google and the websites and to say, oh my gosh, I really can afford a space, you know? Because I just, in my mind, I never thought, why don't you do the research and find out how much it costs per square foot? And it just didn't. And it was just a silly hurdle.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, we have these ideas, and sometimes it's just Googling some information that you're like, okay, wow, this is, you're putting action into motion, in essence. So what was what did you feel was really the hardest challenge with doing that?
I think really after you get through the mindset piece, just really making sure that I got the word out that we exist and articulating our value. Right? Because there's two things. One is that there are loads of co-working spaces and podcast studios and places for people to host their events in Broward County. But there are none like Her Power Space. And not only because we are out west geographically, but also because we put the effort in to make sure that you have the resources that you need in addition to the brick and mortar. So you get the tools, you get the workshops, you get the access to people who can help you level up in your business. And so it's really important to get that information into people's hands so that they understand, oh no, this is not just a co-working space. This is a community that does commerce. Yeah,
I love that. I love that. So because we have viewers that don't know where it is,
right.
Where is it located and what exactly can be done in that space?
Absolutely. Thank you for that. We are in Sunrise, Florida, which if you are familiar with Broward County at all, we're on University and 44th. So the address is 4300 North University, Suite F as in Frank, 100. And we have loads of free parking. Like, that's a big deal. It's really a big deal.
It is. It is in Florida.
It is. We have loads of free parking. And what I love about it is we have a fountain and a courtyard. And it's a really great environment inside and out. I really appreciate that.
I love it. I love it. And people do events there. You can do workshops there.
Absolutely.
So if you're looking to host an event, if you have something that's going on and you need space, like this is such a great space in Sunrise, Florida. It's central. It's easy to get to. And it's got some good energy.
Thank you. And we have the podcast studio. Like, I'm a creative too.
Yes,
I love that. And we have the green screen. So
tell us
you
about
could,
that.
So what I love is each space is actually named after a prominent African American woman in history.
I love it.
So the largest space is Biddy Mason. Then we have the Tyra Banks Content Creation Studio, because that woman is a badass when it comes to, I hope I can say ass. So I say it twice. So when it comes to content creation and production and audio visuals, so we had to honor Tyra. And then also you can meet with clients in a private office, and everything is available hourly, right? It's super important that I didn't lock people in if they didn't want to be into a membership, because we cater to side hustlers and solopreneurs. So we stay open till like 10, 11 o'clock at night. People come in at 7 p.m. after they get off their day job, right? Because 9 to 5 feeds the family, 5 to 10 feeds the soul. So there are a lot of us out here who don't have access to resources, and we're trying to build outside of our day job and our daily activities. And so our goal is to be that place where you can come get the resources at the time that's convenient for you.
That is so powerful. I love that.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about some real stuff. Because Michelle is all about real.
I really am.
And I love this because we often, when we talk about entrepreneurship, when we talk about women in business, we talk about this beautiful, aspirational level, but we don't talk about the nitty gritty. We don't talk about the obstacles and the challenges that we have to face often. And that's important to really put out in the open so that we can all feel really connected and really inspired to do these things. So I wanted to ask you several of those questions.
Okay, I'm ready. I tell the real.
I know. So did you ever feel self-doubt?
Do I, right? Like every day I wake up, I'm like, I am the worst entrepreneur on the face of the planet. And I was so excited because recently the woman who created Poo Poo-Pourri. Yeah, that's worth like double-digit millions of dollars, or triple-digit millions of dollars company now. I think it's like $200 or $300 million valuation. And she was on a Marie Forleo show, and they were both like, I feel like the worst entrepreneur on the planet. There were mistakes that I made along the way, times when I doubt myself constantly. And I was like, okay.
It's not just you.
Right. And not only is it not just me, it never goes away. So whether you are in the triple digits, as in you make a couple $100 in your business, or you're in the triple millions and beyond, there's always going to be that self-doubt. I think it's really not about the self-doubt. It's what you do when you feel it.
I love that. So what do you do when you
I
feel
keep
it?
moving forward, and I reach out to my tribe, and I find a way to move past it, whether that's by knowledge and information, which really is what helps to calm often, because it's again that amorphous, like, oh, I'm not going to be able to afford that, or I'm not doing the right thing. And then you say, well, wait, let me take a step back. What's the actual best thing that could happen out of this, right? And then let me get the information, whether it's Google or wherever, from other people that can help me fill in the blanks and the gaps. And with knowledge, you kind of go, okay, now I can at least navigate the terrain. It may be difficult, there may be challenges, but at least I can understand what's coming up ahead, you know?
Yeah, I think that's what scares many people the most, is really not the unknown, right?
Yeah.
It's like we fear, okay, what could go wrong?
Right.
As opposed to thinking, what could go right?
Exactly.
What could go right? You know, and we have to change that. We have to constantly focus on what could go right.
Exactly.
You know, because there's so many things that could go right.
And that's what keeps me moving forward, right? Because if you have a goal, if the best case scenario is I can win, why would I stop? I want to win.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that positive energy. So on positive energy, because not many people have that positive love, tribe support, you know. What do you do when you have negative around you?
Oh, yeah,
You know, or when
absolutely.
people don't support you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's real. And people don't think I'm competitive. Let's stop there for a second. Be clear. I am extremely competitive. We all win is our motto, but if it's between you and me, I win. That's it. And I don't apologize for that. That's okay.
Yes.
Right? I can still love you and still want to get that spot. If there's only one spot, then it's mine. Okay. But we try to create environments where we have more than one slot available. But that being said, everyone isn't there, and we're not for everyone. And I don't want to be everywhere. Right? Because to me, it's really important that our tribe is comprised of people, and we are woman forward, but men welcoming. So just to be clear, we have men. Men actually made up the bulk of the percentage of my income the very first month we opened, believe it or not, men clients.
Yes.
But what I really want to focus on in terms of the negativity
Yes.
is that I create and hope to create an environment where people can feel safe. And you can't feel safe if there's negative energy there. So in terms of dealing with negativity, that's where New York Michelle comes out. I just don't tolerate it.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. I stand up. I'm probably better advocate for our tribe than I am for myself sometimes.
I love it. Me too.
Yeah, right? Because if I hear that someone has done something or taken advantage in a bad way to someone in our tribe, I go ballistic. And I create an environment where I say, please let me know.
Yeah.
Because it's very important. I can't put my stamp of approval on someone who I don't trust.
Sure.
And if you harm someone in my community, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Right? Or I see that you do something untoward towards someone in my community, we have a problem.
Yeah.
So for me, it happens. People, infiltrate, but then they are gone very fast. But what really happens is that people self-select out. They get uncomfortable because they're like, oh, I don't fit here. Like, this is too friendly for me.
Right?
I'm like, vaya con Dios. It's okay,
For
right?
real.
Right?
That's so funny that you say that, because I always think in the groups that that I operate with, United Latinas, I always say the same thing. Everyone is welcomed. I think the bad energy will filter itself out.
It
if
really
you have
does.
exuberantly positive energy and you want to surround yourself with a positive atmosphere, trust me, the non-positive people will walk
Right.
out themselves.
Right.
You don't have to do anything.
Right. It's so
because
true.
It's so overpowering. This positive love energy will always disseminate anybody that's trying to come there with bad intentions.
And positivity doesn't mean that it's like Care Bear stare all the time either, right?
Right, yeah.
We struggle in our businesses. and we struggle with tough issues and how am I going to pay the rent this month, or how do I reach more people? Like, we get deep and we even like get contentious sometimes, but because we have that underpinning of love and spirit of want to ensure that everyone really wins, that it really is okay. It's still a safe place even to disagree. So positivity doesn't mean, oh, I love you and everything's so wonderful. No, it means like this stuff is hard sometimes.
You got to talk real talk sometimes, and sometimes it's heart to heart conversation on what's not working and how do we fix stuff and maintaining healthy relationships. But healthy relationships aren't always positive and goody and love. And sometimes it's let's figure out sometimes what work needs to be done within ourselves, within ourselves, within each other. How do we come to elevate ourselves? We push each other further when we challenge ourselves with some of these things. So I love it.
I told you I did not trust women, right? They took work.
Yeah. No, I was also like, I was,
the guy's girl. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
If you were a guy's girl, comment below.
Yes,
comment below.
all the guys' girls.
It's funny because I grew up like, in my 20s, I was thinking, man, I think everybody's going to, like, I have so much more guy friends than I do women friends. Why is that? Why is that? Why isn't there an immediate support amongst women initially?
I think we're socialized that women don't get along. I've seen so many memes that women don't get along, women don't like each other, Mean Girls movies, things of that nature, and they start pitting us against each other probably around junior high school, middle school, right? So that kind of continues because you get cast as, oh, the pretty girl or the this or the that, and we get sort of segmented, right? And it takes a lot of time to get past that. We do harm each other. I mean, people hurt each other, period, regardless of gender. But when it's a woman, we're like, that woman hurt me. All women hate, or hurt me. And so coming past that and really doing the work internally to say, well, what's my part in this?
Yes.
And then also, again, repelling the negative energy as you try to grow and develop out of that. But the more that you see success, I would say success begets success.
Yes.
So having successful friendships and relationships begets more successful relationships, and your network expands.
I love that. I love that. I always talk about like the sum of your five, making sure that you have a circle around you that is kind of on the same page of elevation. If you have people around you that are dragging you down or trying to remind you of who you used to be when you were 12, those aren't the people that you necessarily need to be around you, even though they've been friendships for 20 plus years. You have to have a circle around you that is empowering, and motivating you. So what advice would you give women who face some challenges in starting a business?
Well, I would say definitely do the homework, which we've definitely discussed. Like Google is your friend, but also finding people in your circle. And if they're not in your circle, ask to be introduced to them. Do research online. If you can find people who have been where you want to be, or at least are moving in that direction, even if it's through books, audiobooks, interacting interpersonally, because sometimes depending on where you live, you're like, oh, I don't have meetups, I don't have things near me, I'm in a rural place or something like that. Then use books and information to really get the questions answered that you have, because trust me, they've been answered, they've been asked. There are no new questions under the sun.
Right.
So really find either people you can connect directly with, connect with indirectly, or connect with through virtual means like books and audiobooks and podcasts and things like that.
I love it. I love it. Now I'm going to ask you, I know we're kind of getting close to time, but what do you feel are some of the challenges that minority women in general have against, or in the process of starting a business?
Sure. Well, I think it's twofold. The biggest thing that we always talk about is access to capital.
Yes.
Right? Because having an infusion of cash flow is really important, especially in the early period of launching your business. There are so many expenses that you can't even anticipate, no matter how much research you do. Yes. So access to capital is a really big deal. We have such a lower percentage of capital access for tech companies or any other types of companies than white women do. Right? So that's one thing. The other piece is a lot of us, we are the first generation in our lineage to do this journey.
Correct.
We didn't have conversations around the coffee table and the dinner table about, oh, my business, did this year, and here's a P&L sheet, little Johnny. That's just not our reality. So we are literally building brick by brick from the foundation up. Right. And then we also have on top of that, a sense of community that I think is different from other races, from my experience. And so we also have that, let's bring everybody else with us.
Yes.
And sometimes we're not ready yet, but we still feel that sense of obligation to our community.
For sure.
And that's internal and can be detrimental. So we have external factors and internal factors that I believe are unique to us as women of color.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You pinpointed on that exactly, and I always talk about that. It's that internal baggage in essence.
Sure.
So what would be one piece of advice, or maybe there's more than one, that you would give to a woman listening right now that's looking to start her business or do something outside of the box?
Do the research on who's already doing what you want to do, and then do it anyway, but do it informed and do it differently. All right. I just released a blog post yesterday talking about add your secret sauce. Do not let market saturation or the fact that someone else is executing on your idea keep you from your idea being executed. So find out who else is doing it so you have the information, and then add your secret sauce to it, and then launch, baby. Lean though. Don't put too much money into it until you know you have a viable idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
You heard
That was a
right.
little bit of a two-folder.
Yes. Lean, but don't put too much money into it until you know it's a
yes,
viable idea.
yes.
I love that. I love that. I love having you on.
Yes,
We could
thank
go
you
for
so
another
much
hour.
for having me.
Like it could go on. I wanted to give you guys a quick quote from a book. It kind of like marries this, you know, and it's, she went out on a limb, had it break off behind her, and discovered she could fly.
Wow, I love that.
That's you.
Thank you. That's
You know,
all
and
of
I think
us.
that's the heart and soul of women entrepreneurs and women business owners. They want to take a risk. You want to take a risk, and you don't know, you know, if it's going to work out. That is a risk, you know, and we have to take those opportunities and know confidently that we could fly, because we do have that ability. We do have that power, and we need to know that within ourselves.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that so much. Thank you so much for being on. I want everyone to know how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We are Her Power Space on Facebook. I'm Michelle Y. Talbert, and we are herpower.space is our website. So you can get all the information about upcoming events and connect with us, our address, hours of operation, make bookings, and connect with us directly. Her Power Space everywhere. Herpower.space online.
I love it. And what's your next event that you got coming up?
Yeah, we have our next event coming up. We have a collaboration with Fiverr. And so super excited. We are bringing in the top 15 invaluable business laws to cover your backside in business with attorney Antoine Dumas. And that's on the 19th of March. You see me like, oh my God, so
I
many
love
dates
it.
in my
I
head.
love it. Yeah, you got a whole entire calendar.
I know.
Okay,
Like,
which day?
don't
Which
ask me
day?
dates.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
It was
you.
so awesome
This is
having
so
you.
Great. I'm so excited for you.
I know. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Please make sure to comment below if you are watching this. Even if you're watching the replay, we will get to your answers, and we want to answer them because we want to help empower women. We want to help empower the minority community. We want to help empower women in general. Okay, so please comment, like below, let us know what you like, and all of that good stuff. Feel free to follow me at Plan Your Company or United Latinas. Our next event is coming up on March 24th from 11 to 12:30 at the West Boca Library. So hope you guys are coming to that one. We're going to be breaking down Facebook Ads 101 and really doing a lot of training because we want to empower the women entrepreneurship community to really gain the tools and the mentorship to go ahead and pursue the things that they felt that they needed to do. So thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this was, thank you to AMP2 TV Productions for hosting this event, and I look forward to it. You guys, we're saying goodbye now. They're taking us off. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please let us know your comments, and we'll see you guys next week.
Woohoo!